In this video, I want to go over the exact diet, exact workout, and the exact recovery strategy to gain weight and bulk up fast for skinny guys. But why should you take advice from me? I've always been a skinny guy trying to bulk up, but I did so many mistakes and decisions which I regret. That's why I feel that I have this advice, and I'm not trying to disrespect anyone, but a lot of big guys that give this sort of advice on the internet, they have insane genetics and they've never gone through the actual problem. What I want to do is to share exactly what works best for me from someone who is in the same position as you are right now. All right, let's do this. So, the big picture. I will tell you exactly what I did from around March 2025 till around July 2025, because that was the period when I had my biggest transformation, right? So around that period, I had my biggest transformation. Now, good for you to know that I've been training for nearly 6 years, right, in total, from when I started lifting. But it's good to know that I had a lot of periods when I stopped training, right, for a couple of months, and then I come back and all that stuff. But I was not able to do a lot of progress in that time. The most progress that I made and the biggest transformation was around this period, March 2025 till July 2025, and that's what I'll tell you and share you and give you inside of this video. Exactly what worked for me. I'm not going to give you everything that I did from 2020 because it clearly didn't work, right, until that point. So I'm going to only share exactly what I did in that period to do my biggest transformation. But it's good for you to know that now I'm working on a much bigger transformation. I want to do a much bigger transformation than the previous one. So I will share that the current plan that I'm working on in the next couple of months, so I can update you with the progress that I made. So maybe it's good to subscribe to the channel and be notified when I'll update you with the next program. So the workout program that I used, I did a 4 days a week program, meaning that I would only train 4 days a week. And I was training my upper body muscles twice per week. Now, you can clearly see here that if I was able to make this transformation, training only 4 days a week, then the people that tell you you need to train 6 days a week, push pull legs, otherwise you're not going to make gains, then that's BS, right? You can clearly see that. I was able to do this transformation training only 4 days a week. So yeah, still my upper body muscles twice per week and my legs only once per week. Now, I'm not going to go over into the exact program that I did, the exercises, the sets, the reps, and all that stuff, because I want to keep this video short and I want to go through every single category that you need. But if you are interested in that and you want the exact program in detail with explanation, then click the link below if you're ready and you're going to be able to access it. Now, two most important things that I did, which I believe made me a ton of gains. I tracked every single workout, meaning the sets, the reps, and the weights for every exercise that I did. And you can do this in my not MyFitnessPal, sorry. In that period, I tracked my workouts in Strong app, but now I'm currently tracking in Heavy. I don't know if it's, if you know it or not, but both are, I think, are available on Android and iOS as well. So that's the number one thing that I did. And B, sorry, I focused on increasing the sets, increasing the reps or the weights every single week, still keeping good technique, just like I teach you in my video. So if you've been watching me for a couple of weeks now or months, then you know exactly what I mean, and you know that I emphasize a lot good technique and progressive overload, and these are the key, right, to hypertrophy and building bigger muscles. So there's nothing secret that I did in that period in terms of progressive overload and good technique. It's just exactly what I teach you in this video. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, maybe check the other videos, because pretty much all the videos I teach you how to progressively overload the right way. So basically every single week I would either increase the sets or the reps or the weights, but still keeping good technique. And in this period, note that I did not skip a day of training, no matter how tired I felt. Right, and I was consistent with it for a long time, between March till July. So I think 5 months or something like that. Now, the diet that I used. First of all, I was not very strict with my diet. Remember, this was the first time when I actually started to take this seriously and to implement a lot of stuff. So I knew that if I was very, very strict with my diet, I knew I was not able to, I knew I wouldn't be able to be consistent with my diet. So not very strict in these terms, but I had a few strict rules, right? Other than that, I would eat what I wanted. So the rules that I had were to eat enough protein every single day. And I think I'm 1 gram of protein per pound, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, or 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight. That was the rule that I had for the protein intake per day. And I would eat sweets if I had to, in order to get all my calories. And I would eat at least 3 times a day. All right. And also track my weight. I was not very consistent with tracking my weight, but I tracked my weight in the first, when I started the plan, and in the end. So I gained a good amount of weight. So that was the diet. Now, my full day of eating would look something like this. So in the morning, I would have a coffee with milk and then 2 scoops of whey plus milk, right? With milk. So if I would have time, I would drink the coffee. If not, I would only have the 2 scoops of whey with milk. And then for lunch, I would have chicken breast with potatoes and some salad. Most of the days, some of the days maybe it would change one meal somewhere, but most of the days this was my meal plan. Then I would have some pasta, sometimes with chicken as well. And some days I would end the day with a shake, right? In which I added banana, peanut butter, whey, milk, and honey, and dark chocolate as well. Now, again, this was not perfect and it's not 100% optimal, but I was able to stay consistent with this, which in the long run wins. Now, how you can start training based on your experience level. I think this is good for everyone to know, because I recently posted a poll on the community, and most of the guys were in this category, 0 to 3 months of experience in lifting, and some of the guys as well 3 to 6 and 6 to 12, and some other guys 12 plus months. So I'll go over very, very quickly on how you should train based on your experience level, because I remember when I did this plan, March till July 2025, I had some experience, right? So for you right now, if you are starting from 0 or from 3 to 6 or from 6 and you want to do your transformation, then it's good to know how you should train. Keep in mind, 0 to 3 months of training. Basically, no experience, right, in the gym. For the technique, good technique comes first. You don't care about progressive overload. You don't care about training till failure and all that stuff. Good technique on top of everything. That's your main focus in the first 3 months. Intensity, how hard should you push? Feel some burn, some pump, and don't train till failure. So when you train and when you do your sets, once you feel some burn in the muscle that you are trying to train, for example, you are doing some chest exercise, you should feel the burn and the pump and the weakness in the chest when you're doing the set, especially towards the end of the set, right? So once you feel that burn and some pump and all that stuff, then and you still have good technique, once you see that I could do one more rep, but my technique is breaking, stop. That's it, because your focus right now is your good technique. That's your focus, not building muscle, it's building the technique, building the base. This is gonna help you in the long run, please trust me. And then progressive overload, how you should progressive overload. Well, you're gonna start as a beginner, you're gonna start with probably 1 or 2 sets per exercise. And then the way for you to progressively overload is gonna be every single week at 1 set, right? At 1 set until you get to like 3, 4, maybe 5 sets per exercise. And if you want to add weight or reps, maybe increase 1 kilogram or 1 to 2 more reps from the previous week. Now, 3 to 6, keep working on your technique. You have some experience, but still keep working on your technique. Try to keep it stable while you are training a bit harder. So Now, how hard should you push? Push past the burn and past the pump and close to failure. Not to failure, but close to failure. So if in the 0 to 3, you feel the burn, you feel the pump, your technique kind of breaks down, you stop. Now, once you feel the burn and once you feel the pump and the weakness in the muscle, you do more reps past that. You go through that a bit. Not to failure, but through that. You do a couple of more reps. Progressive overload, you're just going to increase the reps and the weights each week, because at this period you're probably going to be at like 3, 4, 5 sets per exercise. So it doesn't make any sense to go to like 7, 8 sets per exercise. Now, 6 to 12 technique, keep the technique stable while improving, right? And a bit of cheating is allowed here. Why? Because you already have experience and you know how to train safely, because you've got good technique from 0 to 3 and 3 to 6 months. How hard should you push? To failure until you can do one more clean rep, and sometimes past failure. Once you reach failure, maybe you do drop sets, or you rest 10 seconds and you go again, right? Past failure. And progressive overload, again, keep increasing the reps and the weights. When you cannot do that, maybe train a little bit slower, focus on technique and all that stuff. I hope this helps, because I think it gives a lot of indications. All right, if I'm here, I know this is how I should train. If I'm here, I know how to train. And if I'm here, I know how to train. Now, for the recovery, the one thing that I did was that I did not train if I was sore from the previous week. So if I would train on Monday and then I had to train again on Wednesday, and I would have to train the same muscles. If I would be sore from Monday, no training. I would rather rest one more day and then delay the training a bit with one day. For sleep, try to get as much as I could, right? Some days I would go to sleep at midnight. Some days I would go to sleep at like 11 p.m. or things like that. But in general, what I did, I remember I tried to get as much sleep as I could, right? I didn't care about waking up at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. or all that stuff. If my schedule allowed me to sleep until 9 a.m. or 10 a.m., I would sleep until that point, right? To get as much recovery as I needed. Now, if you're a serious guy like me and you resonate with the advice that I give you inside of this video, and of course, if you trust me enough, then I've got for you 40 workout routines based on how many days you can train per week. So we've got 2 days a week, 3 days a week, 4, 5, and 6 days a week. Depending on your schedule, you can choose which one you like. You can get all the meal plans that I've made from 2,000, 2,500, 3,000, and 3,500, plus my personalized guidance to guide you towards achieving your dream physique, just like these guys right here. Is the top link in the description if you want to join. We've got calls, we've got time limited bonus for the first 100 members. So if you get in there, you post your current physique, you answer a couple of questions, and then I'll give you a detailed plan. I tell you what the calories you need to eat and what the workout program you should train and all that stuff. So if you're interested in that, you're a serious guy, you take your transformation very, very seriously, and you like my advice, and of course you want to support me, then top link in the description. If you want to join, I'll message you right after you join. See you in there.